My son stood in my living room holding a stack of papers, speaking slowly like I was a child. "Dad, you're 74 years old. You can't keep track of your bills anymore. Last month you paid the electric company twice and forgot the water bill completely." He slid the documents across my kitchen table. "Just sign here. It's a power of attorney. We're only trying to help." I picked up my reading glasses and scanned the first page. Transfer of property deed. The house Martha and I built in 1978. Our home. "This isn't power of attorney," I said. "This is you taking my house." He sighed, like I'd disappointed him again. "You're getting confused, Dad. The dementia is getting worse. Dr. Patterson said so." "Dr. Patterson never said that. I'd just seen her 2 weeks ago. Clean bill of health, except for the usual 74-year-old complaints. But my son Marcus stood there with his wife Jennifer, both of them watching me like vultures circling something dying. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I set down my glasses, looked at Marcus, really looked at him. When did my boy turn into this? "I'm not signing anything today," I said. Jennifer made a small noise in her throat. Disapproval. She was good at that. "Frank, be reasonable," Marcus said. He'd started using my first name instead of Dad about 6 months ago, right after Martha's funeral. "You live alone in this big house. You're forgetting things. What if you fall? What if there's a fire? What if? What if?" Always catastrophizing to justify whatever they wanted. "I fell once," I said. "Tripped over the garden hose in July. Told you that story, and now it's evidence of incompetence." Marcus exchanged a look with Jennifer. The look said, "Humor him." "We found expired milk in your fridge last week," Jennifer said. Her voice had that careful patience people use with toddlers and the elderly. Same tone. "It was 1 day past the date," I said. "I was going to use it for pancakes that morning. You threw it out before I could." "It was a week past," Jennifer corrected. "And there were dishes in the sink." Jesus Christ, dishes in the sink. Call the authorities. I'd raised Marcus by myself after his mother left when he was 8. Worked double shifts at the plant for 16 years. Paid for his college, all of it. University of Michigan, $47,000. Then law school at Northwestern, another $120,000. Paid every cent. Never asked him to work during school. Wanted him to focus on his studies. When he graduated, I was so proud I cried. Martha cried too. We threw him a party at the house. 60 people. I grilled burgers and brats for hours. My back hurt for 3 days after, but I didn't care. That was my boy. My son, the lawyer. Now that lawyer's son stood in my kitchen trying to trick me into signing away my home. "I'd like you both to leave," I said. Kept my voice calm. Even. Marcus's jaw tightened. "We're trying to help you." "By stealing my house?" "That's not what this is." "That's exactly what this is." I picked up the papers, read more carefully. Transfer of deed. Transfer of accounts. There was a section about a trust, but when I looked closer, I saw Marcus had named himself trustee with full discretionary authority. Discretionary. Lawyer word for, "I can do whatever I want with your money." "You think I can't read?" I asked. "You think I'm that far gone?" Jennifer touched Marcus's arm. Warning. They'd underestimated me. Thought I'd just sign. Confused old man, grateful for help, doesn't look too close at the paperwork. "Dad, You're taking this the wrong way. How should I take it?" I stood up. My knees creaked, but I stood. "You come into my home. You tell me I'm losing my mind. You try to get me to sign papers that give you everything Martha and I built. How exactly should I take that?" Marcus's face went red. There it was. The anger underneath the concerned son act. "You're being paranoid and difficult. This is exactly why we need to do this. You're not thinking clearly." "I'm thinking fine. You're the one who can't think straight if you thought I'd fall for this." I walked to the front door, opened it. Cold November air rushed in. "Leave. Now." Jennifer grabbed her purse. Marcus didn't move for a long moment, just stared at me. Then he picked up his papers and walked past me without another word. Jennifer followed. At the door, she turned back. "We're worried about you, Frank. That's all this is." "Sure. Worried." I closed the door, locked it, stood there in my entryway listening to my heart hammer in my chest. 74 years old and my own son just tried to con me. I walked back to the kitchen, sat down. My hands were shaking now. Delayed reaction. The mug of coffee I'd poured before they arrived sat cold on the table. I didn't touch it, just sat there thinking. Marcus had always been ambitious, even as a kid. Wanted the best of everything. Best clothes, best electronics, best car when he turned 16. I gave him what I could, worked overtime to afford it. Thought I was teaching him to work hard, aim high. Maybe I taught him the wrong lessons. Maybe I taught him that wanting things was more important than earning them. His mother used to say, "Don't give him so much he forgets gratitude." I didn't listen. After she left, I compensated. Gave him everything to make up for her absence. Martha tried to balance me out when she came into our lives. Marcus was 12 then. She was patient with him, kind, but firm. Set boundaries I couldn't. They had a good relationship. Not mother and son exactly, but something warm, respectful. At least I thought so. Now I wondered if he'd just been performing for her, being whoever he needed to be to keep the support flowing. Martha died 4 months ago. Pancreatic cancer. 6 weeks from diagnosis to funeral. The fastest and cruelest thing I'd ever experienced. She was 69 years old. We'd planned to travel. See Montana, Alaska. All those places we'd talked about but never prioritized. Always next year, then no more years. At her funeral, Marcus cried, held my hand during the service. I thought we were close then, grief bonding us. 2 weeks later, he started talking about me selling the house. Too big for one person. Too many memories. Unhealthy to stay in the past. He had a realtor friend who could get me top dollar. We could find me a nice condo. Something smaller. Easier to maintain. I said no. He brought it up again 3 weeks later. Then again. Then he started coming by unannounced. Always with Jennifer. Always noticing things. The dishes. The expired milk. The garden hose I'd tripped over once. Building a case. That's what he was doing. Building a case that I was incompetent. And I'd been too grief-fogged to see it clearly until today. Until those papers. I got up, poured the cold coffee down the sink, made a fresh pot. While it brewed, I walked through the house, really looked at it. Martha and I bought this place in 1978. 3-bedroom ranch on 2 acres. Paid $87,000 for it. Seemed like a fortune then. I was 32. She was 27. We painted every room ourselves, laid the tile in the bathroom, built the deck out back. Every board I laid with my own hands. Marcus grew up here. His room was the second bedroom on the left. Still had his old desk in there, some of his books. I kept meaning to clean it out, but never did. The third bedroom was Martha's craft room, sewing machine in the corner, fabric bins stacked neat and organized the way she liked. I hadn't touched it since she died. Couldn't. The living room had the couch we bought in 1995. Still good, still comfortable, pictures on the walls. Martha's doing. She loved photographs, loved capturing moments. There was one of Marcus's high school graduation, cap and gown, big smile. Another from his law school graduation, same smile. One from his wedding 7 years ago. Him and Jennifer on the church steps, confetti in the air. I'd paid for that wedding too. $32,000. Jennifer wanted everything perfect. Destination wedding in Napa Valley. 200 guests. 3-day weekend. I didn't complain. Your son only gets married once. At least that's what you hope. They lived in Birmingham now, expensive suburb north of Detroit. Big house, new construction. Marcus made good money at his firm. Corporate law, mergers and acquisitions. He'd told me about it once, but I didn't really understand it. Just knew he wore expensive suits and worked long hours. Jennifer didn't work. They had 2 kids. My grandkids. Tyler was 9, Emma was 6. I saw them maybe 3 times a year. Christmas, Easter, sometimes summer if I was lucky. They lived 40 minutes away, but it felt like 400. The coffee finished brewing. I poured a cup, sat back down at the kitchen table, thought about what to do. Marcus wasn't going to stop. I knew that. He wanted this house. Probably needed the money. That big house in Birmingham. 2 kids in private school. Jennifer's lifestyle. It all cost. And here I was sitting on property worth probably $400,000 now. Maybe more. Prime real estate. 2 acres. Good neighborhood. He saw dollar signs where I saw home. I needed advice. Legal advice. But Marcus was a lawyer. He knew other lawyers. If I went to someone local, word might get back to him. I needed someone outside his network. I thought about it. Then I remembered. Tom Reynolds, old friend from the plant. We'd worked together for 20 years before he retired and moved to Ann Arbor. His daughter was a lawyer. Family law, I thought. Or was it estate planning? Either way, she'd know what I should do. I found my phone. Took me a minute to remember where I'd put it. In the living room, on the side table. Not in my pocket where it should be. See? Forgetful old man. I smiled, bitter. Found Tom's number, called. He answered on the 3rd ring. Frank, that you? Hey, Tom, how's retirement treating you? Can't complain. Shot 79 yesterday. You still playing? Not much lately. Since Martha died, I hadn't touched my clubs. We used to play together on Sundays. Her idea. She wasn't good, but she enjoyed it. Made it fun. Without her, it felt empty. Listen, Tom, I need some advice. Legal advice. Your daughter still practicing law? Tom's voice shifted, concerned. Sarah? Yeah. Estate planning and elder law. What's going on? I told him. The papers, Marcus, the whole thing. Tom listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Jesus, Frank, I'm sorry. That's rough." "Can Sarah help?" "Absolutely. She deals with this stuff all the time, more common than you'd think. Let me call her, get you two connected." "I'd appreciate that." "Frank, one more thing. You should consider documenting everything. Write down dates, conversations, what Marcus has said and done. If this goes sideways, you'll need evidence." "Evidence? Against my own son. What a world." "I will. Thanks, Tom." We hung up. I sat there holding my phone, feeling old, feeling tired, but also feeling something else. Anger. Clear, cold anger. Marcus thought I was weak, thought I was confused, thought he could manipulate me. He was wrong. I wasn't confused. I was grieving. There's a difference. And grief doesn't make you stupid. It just makes you hurt. I got up, found a notebook in Martha's craft room, one of the blank ones she bought for sketching. Never used it. I brought it back to the kitchen, started writing. Today's date, November 15th. What happened? What Marcus said? What the papers contained? I wrote for 20 minutes, filled 4 pages. Then I went back further. Every conversation about selling the house, every comment about my memory, every unannounced visit. Patterns. That's what Tom said to look for. Document patterns. My phone rang an hour later. Unknown number. I answered. "Mr. Harrison?" "This is Sarah Reynolds. My dad asked me to call you." Her voice was professional, but warm. I liked her immediately. "Thanks for calling. Your dad told you what happened?" "He did." "I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. Unfortunately, it's more common than most people realize. Adult children trying to gain control of aging parents' assets. What can I do?" "First, don't sign anything. Sounds like you already know that, but I have to say it anyway. Second, we should meet. I can review the documents Marcus brought, see exactly what he was trying to get you to sign. Third, we should talk about protecting your assets, making sure you have the right legal structures in place so this doesn't happen again." "How much will this cost?" I had money. Savings from 40 years at the plant. Martha's life insurance, Social Security. But lawyers were expensive. Sarah was quiet for a second. Then she said, "My dad told me you helped him when his mom got sick. Took over his shifts so he could be with her those last few weeks. He's never forgotten that." I had done that. Tom's mother had lung cancer. Died in 2003, long time ago. That was nothing. It wasn't nothing to him, to us. Let me help you now. No charge. Consider it returning the favor. I felt my throat tighten. 30 years later, and Tom remembered. "Sarah, I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering. Can you meet tomorrow? My office in Ann Arbor?" "What time?" 10 a.m. I'll text you the address." "I'll be there." We hung up. I sat back, breathed out. First move made, but Marcus wouldn't wait. He'd regroup, come at me from another angle. I needed to think like him. What would he do next? Probably try to prove I was incompetent. He'd already mentioned Dr. Patterson. Maybe he'd try to get her to say something negative about my health. Or maybe he'd try to have me evaluated. Psychiatric evaluation. Could he do that? I didn't know. That's why I needed Sarah. The afternoon light was fading. I made a sandwich, turkey and Swiss, ate it standing at the counter. Wasn't hungry, but knew I should eat. Martha used to make sure I ate regular meals. Without her, I forgot sometimes. Lost track of time. Another mark against me if Marcus was watching. I wondered if he was. Watching. He had a key to the house. I'd given him one years ago for emergencies. What if he'd made copies? What if he'd been coming in when I wasn't home, looking through my things? The thought made my skin crawl. I walked to the front door. The deadbolt had a keyhole on both sides. I locked it from the inside, left the key in the lock, did the same with the back door, the sliding door to the deck. Every entry point. If Marcus tried to come in, he couldn't, not without breaking something. And that would be criminal. Even he wouldn't go that far, would he? I didn't sleep well that night. Kept waking up thinking I heard something. Footsteps, doors, just the house settling. Old houses make noise, I knew that. But every sound felt like a threat. At 6 a.m. I gave up, got up, made coffee, showered, dressed in my good pants and a button-down shirt. If I was meeting a lawyer, I should look competent, put together, not like some confused old man who couldn't manage his affairs. The drive to Ann Arbor took an hour. Traffic was light. I listened to NPR, tried to focus on the news but kept thinking about Marcus. Where did I go wrong? Was it the divorce? His mother leaving? Was it me working too much? Giving too much? Not enough? Impossible to know. Parenting doesn't come with a manual. You do your best and hope it's enough. Sometimes it isn't. Sarah's office was in a small professional building near downtown. Second floor. The waiting room was empty. A receptionist smiled at me. Young woman, maybe 25. Mr. Harrison? That's me. Sarah's ready for you. Right this way. She led me down a short hallway to a corner office. Windows overlooking the street. Sarah stood when I entered, mid-40s, dark hair pulled back, glasses, firm handshake. Mr. Harrison, good to meet you. Please, sit. I sat in one of the chairs facing her desk. She sat across from me. Did you bring the documents Marcus wanted you to sign? I pulled them from the envelope I'd carried in, handed them over. She scanned them. Her expression didn't change, but I saw her jaw tighten. This is bad, she said after a minute. How bad? If you'd signed this, Marcus would have complete control of your assets. House, bank accounts, investments, everything. And the language here, she pointed to a section. See this? It waives your right to revoke the power of attorney without a court order. Essentially, once you sign, you'd need a judge to undo it. And to get in front of a judge, you'd need to prove you're competent. But Marcus, as your attorney in fact, could block your access to funds to hire a lawyer. It's a trap. My stomach dropped. He's a lawyer. He knew exactly what this was. Yes, he did. Sarah set the papers down, looked at me directly. Mr. Harrison, I need to ask. Do you have any cognitive impairment? Any memory issues? Any reason to think Marcus might have a legitimate concern about your capacity? Dr. Patterson examined me 2 weeks ago. Clean bill of health. I can get her records. Please do. We'll need that. What about your finances? Are they in order? I have a checking account, savings account, some CDs. Martha's life insurance paid out. That's in a money market. I pay my bills on time. Balance my checkbook every month. Old-fashioned, I know, but it works. Nothing wrong with old-fashioned, and you're current on all obligations, mortgage, utilities. House is paid off. Paid it off in 2001. Utilities are auto-pay from my checking. Never missed one. Sarah made notes. Good, that helps. Now, let's talk about protection. Have you executed any estate planning documents? Will? Trust? Healthcare directive? I have a will. Martha and I did them together in 2005. Everything goes to Marcus. He's also my healthcare power of attorney. Sarah looked up. We need to change that immediately. Change my will? Change the healthcare power of attorney at minimum. If Marcus has that authority, he could make medical decisions for you if you're incapacitated. Given what he's trying to do, that's dangerous. As for the will, that's your choice. But you should consider whether leaving everything to someone who's trying to exploit you is really what you want. I sat back, thought about it. Marcus was my son, my only child. Despite everything, I loved him. But did I trust him? No, not anymore. What do you recommend? New healthcare directive. Name someone else as your agent, a trusted friend, your doctor, anyone but Marcus. We should also do a new durable power of attorney for finances, but with strict limitations. That way, if you ever do need help, you'll have it, but it can't be abused. And we should talk about a trust. Moving your assets into a revocable trust that you control. That adds a layer of protection. How long does all that take? We can draft everything this week, execute it next week. In the meantime, I want you to take some other steps. First, change your locks. Don't give Marcus the new keys. Second, put a freeze on your credit. Make sure he can't open accounts in your name. Third, talk to your bank. Put a note on your accounts that no changes should be made without additional verification, a password or something. Fourth, keep documenting everything. I nodded, taking mental notes. And what happens when Marcus finds out? He'll be angry. He might escalate. But legally, you're within your rights. You're a competent adult. You can manage your own affairs. If he tries to challenge that, we'll fight it. Could he try to have me declared incompetent? He could file for guardianship, but that requires evidence, medical evidence. If Dr. Patterson will testify that you're competent and your financial records show you're managing fine, he won't win. It would be expensive and embarrassing for him. Most likely, he'll back off once he realizes you're serious. Most likely, not definitely. I left Sarah's office 2 hours later with a folder full of paperwork to review and a list of action items. First stop, the bank. I drove to my local branch, asked to speak with the manager, explained the situation. The manager, a woman named Lisa, listened carefully. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this, Mr. Harrison. Elder financial abuse is more common than people think. Let me flag your accounts. We'll require in-person verification for any major changes, wire transfers, account closures, anything significant, and we'll set up a verbal password. What would you like it to be? I thought. Martha, Lisa typed. Done. Is there anything else we can help with? That's it. Thank you. Next, the hardware store. I bought new locks for all 3 doors, deadbolts, good ones, heavy brass. Then I went home and spent the afternoon installing them. My hands weren't as steady as they used to be, but I managed. By dinner time, every door had a new lock. Marcus's key was worthless now. I made spaghetti, Martha's recipe. Simple. Jarred sauce, ground beef, onions, garlic, filled the house with good smells. I ate alone at the kitchen table. Thought about all the meals we'd shared here, all the conversations, the laughter, the arguments, the comfortable silence. 41 years of marriage, gone in 6 weeks. Cancer didn't care about plans or dreams or love. It just took. My phone rang while I was washing dishes. Marcus. I let it go to voicemail. 2 minutes later, another call, then a text. Dad, we need to talk. Call me. I didn't respond. An hour later, Jennifer called. I didn't answer. Then another text from Marcus. I know you're angry, but you're not thinking clearly. Please call me back. Not thinking clearly. There it was again, the narrative he was building. I blocked his number. Blocked Jennifer's too. If they wanted to reach me, they'd have to come in person. And I'd see them coming. That night I slept better. Doors locked. Plans in motion. I wasn't helpless. Wasn't some confused old man waiting to be taken advantage of. I was Frank Harrison. Worked 43 years at the plant. Raised a son alone for 4 years. Married a woman I loved for 41 years. Buried her 4 months ago. I'd survived harder things than this. The next morning, Sarah called. I've drafted your new health care directive and power of attorney. Can you come in Friday to review and execute them? I'll be there. Good. Also, I spoke with a colleague who specializes in elder law litigation. If Marcus does try to file for guardianship, we'll be ready, but I don't think it'll come to that. Why not? Because guardianship cases are public record. His employer would see it. His clients. It would reflect poorly on him. A lawyer trying to exploit his elderly father? That's not a good look. He's more likely to back off and try a different approach. Like what? Guilt. Manipulation. He might try to go through friends or other family. Turn people against you. Make you look like the bad guy. Be prepared for that. I hadn't thought about that. But Marcus knew everyone I knew, or most of them. He could spin a story. Poor Marcus. His father's losing it and won't accept help. People would believe him. Why wouldn't they? He was successful, respectable, a lawyer. I was just a retired factory worker. What do I do if that happens? Tell the truth. Show them the documents he tried to get you to sign. Most people will understand once they see the evidence. Friday came. I drove to Ann Arbor again, reviewed the new documents. They were clear, straightforward. My new healthcare agent was Dr. Patterson. My financial power of attorney was Tom Reynolds, but with strict limitations. He could only act if I was physically or mentally unable to do so myself, and only with oversight from Sarah. Safeguards. That's what Sarah called them. I signed everything. Sarah's receptionist notarized it. Official. Done. What now? I asked. Now we wait and see what Marcus does. In the meantime, live your life. Don't let him control you through fear. Easier said than done. But I'd try. I drove home. It was early afternoon. Sunny. Cold, but clear. I pulled into my driveway and saw a car parked in front of my house. Marcus's BMW. He was sitting on my front porch, waiting. I parked, got out, walked up the driveway. He stood when he saw me. Dad, finally, I've been calling you for 3 days. I know. Why haven't you answered? Because I don't want to talk to you. His face hardened. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to help you and you're acting like I'm the enemy. You tried to steal my house, Marcus. That makes you the enemy. I'm not stealing anything. Jesus Christ, Dad. You're so paranoid. That's exactly why you need help. I climbed the porch steps, stood in front of my door. I changed the locks. Your key doesn't work anymore. He stared at me. You changed the locks? That's right. Why would you do that? Because it's my house, and I don't trust you. His jaw clenched. I could see him trying to control his temper. This is insane. You're not well, Dad. You need to see someone, a doctor, a therapist, someone who can evaluate you properly. I saw Dr. Patterson 2 weeks ago. Clean bill of health. You want to see the records? That stopped him. Dr. Patterson said you were fine. That's right. No dementia, no cognitive impairment, nothing. I'm old, Marcus, not stupid. There's a difference. He looked away, thinking, recalculating. Okay, fine. Maybe I was wrong about the dementia, but you still shouldn't be living alone in this big house. It's too much for you to manage. I'll decide what's too much for me. Dad, please, can we just talk about this like adults? You want to talk like adults? Okay, tell me the truth. Why do you really want this house? Marcus hesitated. Then he said, We're having some financial difficulties. The house in Birmingham. The mortgage is more than we expected. And the kids' school tuition keeps going up. We could use the equity from your house to refinance. Ease the pressure. There it was. The truth. Finally. So you are trying to steal my house just for a different reason than I thought. It's not stealing if you give it to us willingly. But I won't give it willingly. So you tried to trick me. Convince me I was losing my mind so I'd sign it over. I was trying to help both of us. No, Marcus. You were trying to help yourself. At my expense. That's not love. That's not family. That's theft. His face went red, angry now, not hiding it anymore. You're being selfish. You don't need this house. It's just you. We have a family, kids, responsibilities. You could help us, but you're choosing not to. I paid for your college, your law school, your wedding. I gave you everything. Now you want my home too? Where does it end? You're my father. You're supposed to help me. I did help you. For 35 years I helped you. Now you're a grown man with a career. It's your turn to take care of yourself. Marcus stepped closer. His voice dropped, harder. You're going to regret this. Is that a threat? It's a fact. You'll need help eventually. Everyone does. And when you do, don't come crying to me. I won't. Trust me. I unlocked my door with the new key, went inside, closed the door in his face, locked it, stood there listening. I heard him on the porch, pacing. Then footsteps down the stairs, car door, engine, driving away. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. That was done. Line drawn. No going back now. The next few weeks were quiet. Too quiet. No calls from Marcus. No visits. Nothing. I should have felt relieved, but instead, I felt uneasy. He was planning something. I knew it. Sarah called to check in. I told her about the confrontation. How did he take it? Not well. He threatened me. Said I'd regret it. Did he specify how? No. Just that I'd need help eventually and he wouldn't be there. That's coercion. Document it. Date. Time. What was said. If this goes legal, that'll help. I wrote it down in Martha's notebook. The pages were filling up. A chronicle of betrayal. Tom called too. Asked how I was holding up. I'm okay. Angry. Sad. But okay. Sarah said you're handling this well. I'm proud of you, Frank. Not everyone has the guts to stand up to family. Doesn't feel like guts. Feels like survival. Sometimes they're the same thing. Thanksgiving was coming. Normally I'd spend it with Marcus and Jennifer and the kids. Not this year. Tom invited me to Ann Arbor, his place. Sarah would be there. Her husband. Their kids. You sure? I asked. I don't want to impose. You're not imposing. You're family. Not by blood, but by choice. That counts for more. It did count for more. I accepted. Thanksgiving Day, I drove to Tom's house. A 2-story colonial in a nice neighborhood. Lots of cars in the driveway. People I didn't know. But Tom introduced me to everyone and they welcomed me like I belonged. Sarah hugged me. How are you holding up? One day at a time. That's all you can do. Dinner was loud, happy, kids running around, adults talking over each other, laughter. It reminded me of holidays with Martha, before everything got complicated, before Marcus became whatever he'd become. After dinner, Tom and I sat in his living room, the Tigers game on TV, not really watching, just sitting. Thanks for this, I said. Don't mention it. You'd do the same. Still, Tom looked at me. Sarah told me what Marcus tried to do. The documents. I'm sorry, Frank. That's rough. Yeah. You know it's not your fault, right? You were a good father. Some people just turn out wrong despite everything. I keep wondering where I went wrong. You didn't. He did. That's on him, not you. I wanted to believe that. Wasn't sure I did, but I nodded anyway. December came. Cold. Snow. I decorated the house for Christmas. Put up the tree Martha and I had used for 30 years. Hung the ornaments. The angel on top. It felt wrong doing it alone, but I did it anyway. She would have wanted me to. I sent Christmas cards to friends. Didn't send one to Marcus. Couldn't. The wound was too fresh. A week before Christmas, Sarah called. Frank, I need to tell you something. Marcus filed for guardianship. My stomach dropped. When? Yesterday. I just got notice. The hearing is scheduled for January 9th. Can he win? Not if we present your case properly. But we need to take this seriously. He's alleged that you're suffering from dementia, that you're a danger to yourself, and that you're being unduly influenced by me and my father. That's all lies. I know. We'll prove it, but it's going to be a fight. What do I need to do? Get me your medical records from Dr. Patterson, financial records showing you're managing your affairs properly. We'll also need character witnesses, people who can testify to your mental competence. I can do that? Good. And Frank, this is going to get ugly. Marcus is going all in. He's going to try to paint you as incompetent and me as a predator taking advantage of you. Be ready for that." I hung up, sat down, felt the weight of it. My own son was taking me to court, trying to have me declared incompetent, trying to take everything. I called Tom, told him. "Jesus, I'm sorry, Frank. What can I do?" Sarah said she needs character witnesses, people who can testify I'm not losing my mind. I'll do it. So will Sarah's husband. We'll get others too. Thank you. Frank, listen. Marcus is desperate. This is his last play. If he loses, it's over. He knows that. So he's going scorched earth. But you're going to win. You have the evidence. You have the support. You're going to be okay. I wanted to believe him. The next few weeks were a blur. Medical appointments, document gathering, meetings with Sarah. She was building a case, a fortress of evidence that I was competent, capable, being exploited, not protected. Dr. Patterson wrote a detailed letter, explained that she'd been my primary care physician for 12 years, that I showed no signs of dementia or cognitive impairment, that my memory was appropriate for my age, that I managed my medications independently, that I was, in her medical opinion, fully capable of managing my own affairs. My bank provided statements showing responsible financial management, bills paid on time, no unusual activity, no signs of confusion or exploitation. Tom agreed to testify. So did Sarah's husband, a neighbor I'd known for 20 years, my accountant, people who knew me, who could vouch for my competence. January 9th came too fast. I drove to the courthouse in Detroit with Sarah. Tom met us there. The courtroom was small, wood paneling, fluorescent lights, cold. Marcus was already there with his attorney. A woman in an expensive suit, sharp-looking. Marcus wouldn't look at me. The judge entered, an older woman, gray hair, stern expression. She reviewed the file, then looked up. "This is a petition for guardianship filed by Marcus Harrison regarding his father, Frank Harrison. Mr. Marcus Harrison, you're alleging your father is incapacitated and unable to manage his affairs?" Marcus's attorney stood. "Yes, Your Honor. We have evidence of cognitive decline, financial mismanagement, and vulnerability to undue influence. Proceed." The attorney called Marcus to the stand. He was sworn in. She asked him questions, leading questions about my memory, my behavior, times I'd supposedly forgotten things, gotten confused. He lied, smoothly, confidently, said I'd left the stove on multiple times, that I'd forgotten to pay bills, that I'd gotten lost driving to the grocery store, all lies. But he said them like they were true. Then it was Sarah's turn to cross-examine. She stood, calm, professional. "Mr. Harrison, you testified that your father left the stove on multiple times. How many times exactly?" "I don't know, several." "More than 5, probably." "Can you give me specific dates when this occurred?" Marcus hesitated. "I don't remember the exact dates." "But you remember it happening multiple times?" "Yes." "Did you take photographs of the stove left on?" "No." "Did you report these incidents to anyone? His doctor? Adult Protective Services?" "No, I was handling it within the family." "I see." "You also testified that he forgot to pay bills." "Which bills?" "Utility bills. I think the water bill." When was this? A few months ago. Can you provide documentation showing a late or missed payment? I don't have that with me. Did you verify with the utility company that a payment was missed? No. Sarah paused. Let the silence sit. Mr. Harrison, you stated in your petition that your father has assets worth approximately $400,000. Is that correct? Approximately, yes. And you're requesting to be appointed his guardian with full control over those assets? To protect him, yes. You're currently facing financial difficulties, are you not? Marcus's attorney objected. Relevance goes to motive, Your Honor. The judge nodded. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Harrison. Marcus shifted. My wife and I have some financial pressures. That's not unusual. You're behind on your mortgage, correct? We've had some late payments. How late? A few months? How many months? 3. And you owe approximately $40,000 in back payments? Around that? Isn't it true that you asked your father to give you his house to help with your financial problems? I suggested he sell it and downsize for his benefit. And when he refused, you brought him documents to sign that would transfer the house to you? Marcus's attorney objected again. Assumes facts, not in evidence. Sarah pulled out the documents. I have the documents here, Your Honor, submitted as Exhibit A. They show a transfer of deed from Frank Harrison to Marcus Harrison. The judge reviewed them. Objection overruled. Continue. Mr. Harrison, are these the documents you brought to your father? Marcus looked at them. Yes, but that's not what they were for. They clearly state transfer of deed. How is that not what they were for? It was part of an estate planning strategy. An estate planning strategy that would give you his house while he was still alive? It's complicated. I don't think it is. I think you tried to trick your father into signing over his house, and when he refused, you filed for guardianship to take it by force. Marcus's face went red. That's not true. No further questions. Sarah sat down. The judge called for a recess. We went into the hallway. Tom squeezed my shoulder. You're doing great. I didn't do anything? Exactly. You're letting the evidence speak. That's smart. After the break, Sarah called Dr. Patterson. She testified about my health, my cognitive function, my independence. She was clear, confident, professional. Then she called Tom. He testified about our friendship, times we'd spent together recently, conversations we'd had. He said I was sharp, engaged, fully aware of my circumstances. Then my neighbor, she said the same, that I maintained my property, that I was polite and coherent, that I'd helped her when her dog got out last month, chased it down the street, caught it, brought it back. Does that sound like someone who's incapacitated? Finally, Sarah called me. I was sworn in, sat in the witness chair, looked at the judge. Sarah asked me questions about my health, my finances, my relationship with Marcus. I told the truth, all of it, the documents, the threats, the lies. When I finished, Marcus's attorney cross-examined me. She tried to trip me up, asked about dates, times, details. I answered every question, clearly, precisely. She had nothing. The judge recessed again to consider her ruling. We waited in the hallway. 45 minutes, an hour. Finally, we were called back in. The judge looked at Marcus, then at me. I've reviewed all the evidence and testimony. Mr. Marcus Harrison, Your petition for guardianship is denied. The evidence shows that your father, Frank Harrison, is fully capable of managing his own affairs. In fact, the evidence suggests that you have a financial motive for seeking guardianship that has nothing to do with your father's welfare. I'm troubled by the documents he was asked to sign and by the pattern of behavior described. Mr. Frank Harrison, you're free to continue managing your own affairs. Case dismissed. I felt Tom's hand on my shoulder. Sarah smiled. It was over. Marcus stood, walked out without looking at me. His attorney followed. I stood too, shaky, relieved, angry, all of it at once. Outside the courthouse, Sarah hugged me. You did it. We did it. No, you did. You stood up for yourself. That takes courage. What happens now? Now you live your life. Marcus can't try this again without new evidence, and he won't have any because there isn't any. You're free. Free. That's what she said. But I didn't feel free. I felt sad. My son had tried to destroy me and failed. That should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like loss. I drove home. The house was quiet. I made tea, sat at the kitchen table, looked at Martha's chair across from me, empty. What should I do? I asked her, out loud, like she could hear. No answer, just silence. But I knew what she'd say. Move forward. Don't stay stuck. Life's too short. So that's what I did. I called Tom. Thank you for testifying. Any time. You okay? I will be. You're coming to New Year's Eve, right? Sarah's hosting. I don't know. I'm not really in a party mood. Come anyway. You shouldn't be alone. He was right. I went. Sarah's house was full. Music, food, people. At midnight, everyone counted down, cheered, hugged. I stood in the corner with a glass of wine. Thought about Martha, about Marcus, about everything. Sarah came over. You okay? Just thinking. About? Whether I should have done things differently. With Marcus? Maybe if I'd been stricter, or less generous, or something. Frank, you did your best. That's all anyone can do. Marcus made his choices. You made yours. You chose honesty, integrity. That's not wrong. Doesn't feel like winning. Winning doesn't always feel good. But you protected yourself. That matters. I nodded. She was right. But it would take time to believe it. The next few months passed. Winter turned to spring. I kept the house, kept my independence, kept moving forward. Marcus never called, never apologized. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he and Jennifer sold the Birmingham house, moved to something smaller, cheaper, good. Maybe they'd learned something, maybe not. Wasn't my problem anymore. Tom and I started playing golf again, Sundays, like old times, except without Martha, but still good. Sarah invited me to family dinners. I went, became part of their circle. Chosen family, she called it. I liked that. One Saturday in April, I was working in the garden, planting tomatoes. The phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Hello? Grandpa? Tyler, Marcus's oldest. I hadn't heard his voice in months. Tyler? That's you? Yeah, I wanted to call you. I miss you. My throat tightened. I miss you too, buddy. Dad said we can't see you anymore. He said you're sick and confused and it's not safe. But I don't think that's true. You never seemed sick. Smart kid. I'm not sick, Tyler. Your dad and I had a disagreement. Sometimes adults do that. About what? Grown-up stuff. Nothing you need to worry about. Will you come to my birthday party? It's next month. I'll be 10. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But I knew Marcus wouldn't allow it. I don't think your dad would want me there. I'll ask him. Please? You're my grandpa. You should be there. We'll see. That was all I could promise. A week later, Tyler called again. Dad said, okay, you can come, but only if you want to. I was shocked. Marcus agreed? Are you sure? Yeah. Mom talked to him. She said it was wrong to keep us apart, that whatever happened between you and Dad shouldn't affect me and Emma. Jennifer. I hadn't expected that. Okay. I'll be there. When is it? May 14th, 2 p.m., our new house. He gave me the address. I wrote it down, hung up, thought about it. This could be a trap. But Tyler's voice was genuine. And if there was even a small chance to see my grandkids again, I had to take it. May 14th came. I bought Tyler a present, a model airplane kit, something we could build together if he wanted. I drove to the new address, a modest ranch, older neighborhood, nothing like the Birmingham house, cars in the driveway. I parked on the street, walked up, rang the bell. Jennifer answered. Frank, thank you for coming. She looked tired, older. Thanks for inviting me. Tyler wanted you here. That's what matters. I went inside. The house was smaller but nice, clean. Kids ran past. Tyler saw me. Grandpa. He hugged me, tight. I hugged him back. Emma came over too, shy. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, sweetheart. Marcus was in the backyard, setting up tables. He saw me through the window, looked away, didn't come in. The party was good, normal. Kids playing, cake, presents. Tyler loved the airplane kit. Can we build it together? Sure. Anytime. Toward the end, Jennifer pulled me aside. Frank, I need to apologize. I went along with Marcus's plan. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't stop him. I'm sorry. Why did you? Fear, money, stupidity? Take your pick. But after the court hearing, I realized we were becoming people I didn't want to be. I told Marcus we needed to change, downsize, live within our means, stop blaming others for our problems. He didn't like it, but he agreed. We're trying to do better. How is he? Ashamed, angry at himself. He won't admit it, but I can tell. He knows he was wrong. Is he going to apologize? Jennifer looked out at the backyard. I don't know. Maybe. Give him time. I nodded. I could do that. I left before Marcus came back inside. Didn't want to force a confrontation. But on my way out, I saw him watching from the deck. Our eyes met. He looked away first. In the car, I thought about what Jennifer said. Give him time. How much time? A year? 10 years? Would he ever apologize? Did it matter? I wasn't sure. But I knew one thing. I didn't need his apology to move forward. I'd already done that. Summer came. I traveled for the first time in years. Took a trip to Montana, the place Martha and I always talked about. Saw Glacier National Park. Stayed in small towns. Met people. It was good. Healing. When I got back, there was a letter waiting. No return address. I opened it. Marcus's handwriting. Dad, I don't know how to start this. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I was desperate and selfish, and I tried to justify it by telling myself you didn't need everything you had. But that was wrong. You earned it. You deserve it. And you deserved better from me. I was a terrible son. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I wanted you to know I understand what I did. And I'm sorry. I read it twice. 3 times. Folded it. Put it in the drawer with Martha's notebook. Forgiveness. That's what he was asking for. Did I have it in me? I thought about it. Prayed about it. Talked to Tom and Sarah. They said it was my choice. No right answer. In the end, I decided yes. Not for him. For me. Carrying anger was exhausting. I was tired. I wanted peace. I called Marcus. He answered, surprised. Dad? I got your letter. Silence. Then, okay. I forgive you. His voice cracked. You do? Yeah. But things are different now. We can't go back to how it was. I understand. If you want a relationship, it starts over. From scratch. Earned. Not assumed. I can do that. Good. We talked for a few more minutes. Careful. Polite. It wasn't warm, but it was something. A beginning. Maybe. Tyler's airplane kit sat on my kitchen table, half built. He was coming over next weekend to finish it. That was something too. Small steps. That's all healing ever is. The house felt less empty now. I joined a gardening club, made new friends, started volunteering at the library, kept busy, kept moving. One evening in late August, I sat on the back deck, sun setting, cool breeze. I poured a glass of wine, Martha's favorite kind, raised it to the sky. We did okay, I said. Not perfect, but okay. Somewhere a bird called, the trees rustled, the world kept turning, and I was still here, still standing, still me. That was enough. If you liked this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.